And you can even be on your phone in here and be on Facebook Live and make comments and then text to give at the same time. But if you're online, let us know with comments and with using the bubbles. And if you're on YouTube, you can even make a comment or ask a question, or just if you are curious about who we are, what we do, and if you have something to say about it, or even maybe suggestions or desires. So I want to open this whole experience together with a spiritual mind treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes and to just for a moment consciously be aware that you're withdrawing your attention from the outer world and bringing it to the inner world, maybe to the breath, maybe to the conscious awareness that your heart is beating and your lungs are working and the infinite intelligence in your body is doing its thing without you even having to think about it. And so let's trust that. Let's take a moment to surrender to the power and the presence of the divine within and around us. This infinite intelligence that knows how to breathe our breath, that knows how to change from season to season with utter predictability. This awareness that the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun, the rising of the moon and the setting of the moon is so magnificently miraculous that it's the same life force that moves in and around us. It is our mind, it is our heart, it is our body, it is our soul, and therefore it translates in our lives by means of how we experience it and how we use it. Today, we learn to let go of control or resistance, and we use the areas of our lives where certain old habits that no longer serve us persist as a way to turn to that inner activity and expressing a greater sense of our divine nature and how that wants to be lived. I'm so excited to explore this because I know there's always more to be expressed, more to be lived. And it is never good or bad, right or wrong, enough or not enough. It is just a dance of spirit by means of its creation and therefore by means of us. And so we are deeply grateful for knowing this and for being open enough to allow this presence-free reign. And so we turn that over to the universal law, which knows exactly how to demonstrate it in the highest and best way for each and every one of us. And we each claim it for ourselves by saying together, and so it is. So Reverend Janice and I have a really long history, about 20 years, a little under 20 years. Yeah, over 20. She started as a student here, and then she ran with the teaching like the wind, embracing all of it, moving into being a practitioner, a minister. She got ordained. She served in the center for many years. Then she went off on her own to Unity in Lafayette, and now she's back as our financial manager in our office. And she's been a dearer and dearer and dearer soul sister and friend and prayer partner. So we bring her up now to bless us with a guided meditation, and then later she's going to do a closing treatment.
And those of you who know me, including my beloved Dr. Frankie, know that I also like to talk a little. So, before we get to the meditation, talk a little. So, resistance. What does it feel like? I'm going to put your hands out in front of you, like this. And imagine that something is pushing against you, okay? And you're holding it back. Can you feel the tension in your arms? Okay. Now put your hands together, prayer position, but push them against each other. And again, you feel the tension, right, in your hand, in your arms. You feel it in your shoulders, your chest. You might have even stopped breathing. can anything come in when you're in this position? No. What is the opposite of resistance? Allowing. Surrender, release. Just do this, do this. Let your shoulders fall back. Let your chest open. Feel the difference in your body. This is the state of allowing. So we are either in resistance or we are in allowing. It is a state of being. When we are in a state of allowing, we can receive from the universe. It doesn't mean that that's when the universe gives. The universe is always giving. It is its nature to always give. It cannot withhold. So it is up to us to receive and to be in this state of receiving. So which one would you rather be in? Resisting or allowing? Yeah, it's pretty simple, the answer. But we're not always aware that we're resisting. And that's what I want to just focus on in this little piece and in the practice that we're going to do. So when we are in the state of allowing, we are one with the flow of life. When we have a vision for our life, and this month, as Dr. Frankie said, you are being pulled by a vision. So we have a vision, right? And we release it, or we try to surrender it. We treat, and what's the final step of treatment? Release, right? To let it go. And in the visioning process that was developed by Dr. Michael Beckwith, there's the release step, but to me there's an even more important step, which is when we ask the question, what do I need to become? Because we need to become a vibrational match for the vision that we are calling forth, that we are being pulled by. And when we become a vibrational match, things need to fall away. Things change, right? What do you think is the one thing that humans resist the most? And it's basically universal. Pain, but really, we resist what is. We resist what is. If we don't like what is, especially. Certainly if there's pain, but if it doesn't match what we want, we resist it, right? We don't like it. It's not what we're praying for. It's not what we're treating for. But very often, the first thing that shows up once we release is anything unlike what we are bringing in so that we can have that shift. So the important thing, and Dr. Frankie already said it, and she's going to talk more about it, is to notice what shows up, because there is a gift there. To notice when we're resisting, because there is a gift there. And to make that shift, if we remember that everything that shows up is preparing us to receive what we are asking for, what is in our heart, everything, even if we don't like it. Acceptance doesn't mean we like it. It just means that we stay open. Because when we close, nothing new can come in, and that's where what we are already experiencing persists. Okay? So we felt what it feels like in our body to resist, but we are also resisting when we are judging. That's a state of resistance, when we're judging something as right, wrong, good, or bad. We're resisting. You might not feel it, but there's a resistance in our being. We're resisting when we're complaining, and we're resisting when we're blaming, and we all do it. It's okay. It's not right, wrong, good, or bad. It's just to notice that we're in resistance so we can make the shift. So what we're asked to do is to allow what is and to trust that it is the process of us being prepared for our highest vision. And that simple shift is miraculous. Eckhart Tolle says this in Practicing the Power of Now. There are cycles of success when things come to you and thrive, and cycles of failure when they wither or disintegrate. And you have to let them go in order to make room for the new things to arise or for transformation to happen. If you cling and resist at that point, it means you are refusing to go with the flow of life, and you will suffer. Dissolution is needed for new growth to happen. One cycle cannot exist without the other. To offer no resistance to life is to be in a state of grace, ease, and lightness. This state is then no longer dependent upon things being in a certain way, good or bad. So let's practice this in a meditative practice, and I am blessed beyond measure to have my beloved prayer partner, your beloved spiritual leader, play the flute behind me. I'm so excited. So awareness of resistance is always an opening for transformation, so let's make that opening now. I invite you to get comfortable, to close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Take a deep breath and bring your awareness into your heart. Feel the heartbeat. Breathing in and exhaling through your nose, softening the space around your shoulders and chest. Breathing in once again into your heart, roll your shoulders back and open yourself to life, and exhale. I recently heard that God is in the exhale, in the surrender. As you exhale, soften everything, melting away any of the walls you may have put up or tension you are holding on to. Breathing into your heart, gratitude. Feeling the heartbeat, that rhythm that's connected to life. And breathing out, paying attention to how you feel in your heart in this moment. Accepting whatever you feel by not resisting or wanting anything to be different in your heart. Just being present with how you feel. Just allowing your feelings to be. Entering a greater space of peace by being with whatever you feel. Simply noticing if you feel the need to be somewhere else, to feel something else, and then letting that go with a deep breath. It's not about getting to acceptance, but noticing any resistance to it. As we accept the resistance, we enter a state of greater acceptance automatically. So think of what is going on in your life right now. Are you resisting any part of it because it is not what you want it to be? Are you judging it as right, wrong, good, or bad? Just notice if you are. Notice if this brings up any tension anywhere in your body. Just noticing. Are you willing to accept what is just as it is so it can reveal what is possible? So once again, bring your awareness awareness to your beating heart, the aliveness within yourself. Soften your body as you exhale, letting any resistance melt away. Unclench your heart. Relax your shoulders and open your chest and feel the divine flow of life moving through you. Breathing in and affirming to yourself that in this moment, this is all you need. Exhaling, again melting into the space where you are seated. Breathing in, experiencing everything that's going on inside of you right now. Accepting that it is all part of the miracle of life. Breathing into your beating heart with so much gratitude and so much love. Feeling truly blessed to be alive in this moment. To be present and open to the gifts of this moment. Feeling the sensations in your body and allowing this moment to be as it is. Now take 3 deep breaths in and out. Feeling alive and grateful for this practice, this body, this moment, this life. You are now ready to recommit to the highest vision for your life, to become the vibrational match for what is coming. So get ready to explore more of what that is. And whenever you're ready, come back to this moment, to your body, to this time, just as it is.
Thank you, Reverend Janice. That was lovely. So, we started reading this book. We started reading this book for our practitioner class called Elegant Choices, Healing Choices by Marcia Sintar, which I have not read in a really long time. On the first page, in the first chapter, it says this, no coincidence, right? We humans so easily resist our good. From within ourselves, from our most basic drives and urges, come strong forces that take us in perversely inelegant directions. Repeatedly, we sabotage our long-term good, acting as if we were adversaries to the very life, joy, and vitality we desperately crave. We become addicted to the wrong foods, or we use chemical substances for energy, or to blanket our awareness of the things in our life that don't work. We avoid those persons who might be helpful to us, and we move closer to those toxic to our long-term good. Deeper still, in unconscious regions of our souls, we fear our own strength and talent and goodness, which, when developed fully, make us visible, distinctive, powerful, and fully responsible to take on more of the things we now avoid. Yet, certain people do move forward. They inspire, lead, and help us by their courage and honesty, and by the way they direct their energies and commitments. For the most part, these persons are actualizing, growing toward their best selves, and they teach us to grow as well. They demonstrate through their lives and actions what is healthiest and most attractive and meaningful. By their way of being, their values and their choices, they point the way to complete personhood. So I find that incredibly freeing. I find it really freeing to realize that it is our human tendency to be in resistance. I find it freeing because when I feel the resistance, which when we're tuned in, we feel right away by way of Reverend Janice's practice, right? We know it right away. We can go, oh, here I am, I'm just in resistance. And then in that moment to not judge it, because when we're not conscious, we're probably already experiencing judgment because there's fear, right? So we're in this fight or flight mode without even realizing it. But if we're aware and we're present, we kind of go, oh, that's so interesting, I'm in resistance. I don't have to do anything. It's a choice. I can. If I am at work and I'm experiencing resistance, maybe I can't process it right away, but I can make a mental note and say, oh, that was interesting. When so-and-so said this or did that, I noticed resistance in me. Let me just make a note so I can kind of think about it a little bit more later. Because that way we begin to notice the patterns. Because we all have certain patterns, right? You may experience more challenge and resistance with people at work, or you may experience more resistance when you're watching the news, or when you're doing laundry, or when you're getting dressed and putting on makeup, or when you are in a relationship with somebody that challenges you. We know where we experience most of our resistance, right? And so we get to kind of say, oh, that's fascinating. There's something that wants to be known by me. I am desiring to have more awareness about what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing. It's a moment for me to take a closer look. Because resistance just means holding back. It means that my anchor is in the ground and it's a little bit difficult for me to move. And so I get to pay attention to where I feel that resistance. So think about some of the things in your life that persist. What are the themes of your blames, your complaints, your strong opinions, your challenges? Is anybody feeling brave to say it out loud? Where do you notice most resistance? Where's the pattern? Is it in the area of relationships? Is it in the area of money or abundance? Is it in the area of your body, your health? Is it in the area of your vocation or how you express in the world? Anybody?
All of those.
Health. All of the above. Honesty. Me too, Nick.
All the above.
Health. Health. Yeah, so just kind of notice, right? Because the places where we blame, complain, judge, fear, worry, have anxiety the most, that is where we are resisting the greater good. And it shows up as persistence. It's like Velcro, you know, it doesn't go away until we clear it, until we resolve it, until we have more insight about it. And so we get to think about, where does my resistance show up the most? And then say, yay! Instead of, oh my God, here it is again, la 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 la, I'm such a mess, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, blah, 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 I don't have enough, which are prayers, by the way. We say our thoughts are prayers. It's not just when we sit down and treat, right? It's all the time. Our thinking is putting something into our experience by means of our thought. So what if our greatest persistences and our greatest resistances really hold a huge treasure, a hidden treasure? It holds gold for you, the most precious gold. And what if we can stop and pause long enough to say, I'm looking for the gold here. I'm not going to settle for lead or copper or silver. I love silver. Or whatever. And so there are the seeds to freedom then. Those are the seeds to freedom. So instead of resisting resistance, we embrace the resistance and say, I'm mining it for gold. Because within the resistance, there lies infinite possibility. There lies your readiness to expand and to stretch and to be more of the personhood of your best self, or the best self personhood. And so it holds information, as Marcia Sintar says in her book, about that, about our completeness, about our best self. So we lift up the anchor, we let go of the desire to hold or to push or to hold up the wall or to keep spinning the plates, right? And we ask, what am I really resisting? Because I think that that's the answer. What we're resisting is not fear, worry, pain, all that. What we're resisting is the expression of our true nature. We're resisting our brilliance, our beauty expressed, our freedom, our vision being lived. Now, last week, we talked a lot about, and Theo did this wonderful process about a clear vision for what our purpose is, why we're here. And so we're diving a little bit deeper today because by looking at resistance in a new way, it not only reveals our vision, but it strengthens our vision and it gives us whatever it is that we need to express and live that vision. And so we get to kind of flip it, right? If I notice that I'm experiencing resistance in relationships or at my work or around my abundance or around my health, instead of focusing on fixing that or changing that or even working on my consciousness to change my consciousness so my experience changes, I can just flip it and say, this is just a desire for greater self-expression, for why I'm alive. So let me focus on that and live that, and all the other things will be taken care of. And you know this. You know that if you are a particularly anxious person, that when you focus on the true nature of your being, you don't even have to think about your anxiety or figure out how to fix it. You just simply, the anxiety dissolves and your true self, your true peace of mind comes to the surface, comes to the experience. So what we're doing then is we're flipping it. Instead of saying, oh, I am resisting what I fear the most, I am now letting go of resistance to my true nature, of what's already within me, to the truth, instead of trying to figure out or fix the lie, right? And so we uncover the antidote. The antidote to resistance is to clarify your vision. Why are you here? I have people say to me, and sometimes I counsel them for a long time, they say, I can't figure it out. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what my vision is. I don't know what my purpose is. And I've been treating for it for 100 years, and I've taken all the classes and read all the great books about it, and I still don't know. And I say to them, I know. And they go, really? And I go, yes. What is it? It's one word. Really? That easy? Yeah, that easy. What's the word? I said, I can't give it to you. No, I'm just kidding. Love. If you don't know what your purpose is, and you don't know what your vision is, and you don't know what your why is, start there. Start there. That your purpose is to be love. Your purpose is to give and receive love. Your purpose is to be an instrument of divine love. That will keep you busy till the rest of your life, I promise. And so we practice surrendering to our why. I think one of the reasons why people say, I don't know why I'm alive, I don't know what my purpose is, because they don't really want to live it. They feel like it's so much hard work. But the beauty is, if we keep it simple, it's so easy. It's like, oh, right, love. I had an argument with my honey the other day. It didn't go well.
For who?
For both of us. But it was so interesting because afterwards I was journaling, because I'm like, what is this? Because it's a kind of a pattern argument. But the beauty is it happens less often and it doesn't last as long. So it's like, oh, right? Is that we had the same complaints. They were exactly the same complaints. I won't bore you with what they were, but we had exactly the same complaint. And I ended up laughing, and we laughed about it together. It was like, oh, that's so funny that we have the same complaint, and so we're arguing about the same complaint. Duh, there's only one, and everybody's a mirror, and they're there for us to learn some things and to grow and to heal, right? And so I was remembering this thing about what I just said, because if you don't know what your vision is, it's love, right? It's always love. It's like, okay, so the only thing that's mine to do here is to stay in love, to stay true to love, to remember that we love one another, to remember that love is all there is. And so when we do that, we come back to that more quickly and more easily, and then we can laugh at ourselves and each other, right? And so Ernest Holmes says, true non-resistance is the surrender of every arrogant attitude of mind. I had about 10 of those in the argument. True non-resistance is the surrender of every arrogant attitude of mind to good and to good alone. Those who have made this surrender have found real peace of mind, happiness, and wholeness in the only place it can be found, within themselves. So, when we commit to that higher vision of who, what, and why we are, then resistance dissolves. And so I have a couple of R's that I want to bring to this experience. Because resistance really just gives us information, right? And if we embrace that information and even embrace the resistance, there is the gold. And so this is what happens with the gold. The gold is where your why is, where your vision for yourself is. So the first R is revisit. Think about, why am I here? And if you're the kind of person who says, I'm clueless and I'll probably never figure it out, start with love, or pick being a peacemaker, or pick kindness, or pick compassion, pick something. So revisit that. What does that mean? What does that look like? What does that feel like? Where am I good at it? Where is it easy? Where is it difficult? How can I make it more easy, right? Just kind of revisit it and think about it and then reflect on it. The second R is reevaluate. Is this still true for me? Is it really still love, or maybe it's compassion, or maybe it's being of greater service in the world, or maybe it is to serve at a soup kitchen, or maybe it is to be a teacher, or maybe it is, I don't know what your vision is, but many of you already know what it is, right? So is it still that, or do I need to replace it, refine it? That's the next R. Does it need to be replaced? Does it need to be changed? Do I need to add something to it? Does it need to be refined? Does it need to be clarified? And then the last one is to recommit, which for me sometimes is a daily thing. It's not just once a year, right? When I do my resolution in January. It's like a daily thing. Because we want to keep our vision, our why, really clear in front of us, so that no matter where we go, what we're doing, it's right there. So if, for example, you are resistant to practicing good self-care, which I can often see is an issue with a lot of people, right? Practicing good self-care, making sure we get enough rest, making sure we drink enough water, making sure that we eat food that nourish our body, making sure that we do our spiritual practices, that we move our bodies, all those things that we know are good for us, right? So let's say that you're resistant to self-care, that it's just really difficult for you to take good care of yourself. Think about that. You got to then reflect on, instead of saying, oh, I should be on a diet, I should lose some weight, I really should exercise, all those shoulds just block your greater good. So instead, we can kind of step back and say, well, what do I want for myself? What is it that I want for myself? One of the reasons that people can't stick to diets or lifestyles is because their vision isn't clear. They're in resistance to loving themselves and experiencing the life force moving through their bodies, right? So then we want to say, well, what is my vision for myself? My vision for myself is a vibrant, healthy, energetic, alive human being. You might even create a vision board. And then you have to keep focusing on that, bringing it back all the time, refining it, revisiting it, reconnecting with it, reevaluating, refining it, right? So are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to have a clear, are you ready to have a clearer vision of yourself? You know what's going to happen, you troublemakers, you. What's going to happen when your vision is really clear? Watch out, freaking world, because you're coming into it. And you're standing with clarity, with love, with wisdom, with a clear vision, with a vibrancy, with an energy, with a deeper knowing. You don't have to know all the answers to all your stuff and your problems. You just have to know what your vision is and to live from it. And everything else will be taken care of. And whatever comes your way, no matter what it is for your good, for your evolution, and for your vision revealing itself in greater yet greater ways. It's just a mind that says that. No, not that. Boom, there's the resistance, right? Just embracing it. And so that's about knowing that we get to feel free. We get to feel healthy. We get to feel happy. We get to feel blessed. We get to feel alive. We get to feel that life has a gift and a blessing. And then once we feel that, it touches everything. And there's no longer that resistance or that feeling of, oh, life is so hard. So next time you encounter resistance, just pause, take a breath, and just know it's your true nature tapping you on the shoulder, or maybe kicking you in the butt. I don't know how it works for you. Maybe tickling you, I don't know. But tapping you on the shoulder to say, hey, you are beautiful, you are magnificent, you are all that you are by means of your true nature, and you're simply here to live and express that in greater yet greater ways. So it is.
So it is.
All right, there's a couple of things I want to tell you about. Are you trying to make a point by waving the microphone?
No, I was just saying I hit myself in the head every now and then.
Oh, he hit himself in the head with a microphone. Could have had a meeting. There's a couple things I want you to know. I, first of all, want to thank some amazing volunteers that cleaned up our little garden out there. It looks so pretty. Jean Lee, Vern Miller, Bill Curran, Eileen Gans. Yes, it looks lovely out there. And now that we're open, we are inviting you to strengthen, to infuse, and to grow our community. That means we need you. I'm not just saying that. We really need you to make this center grow and be sustainable again. So we're asking you to serve. So we want you to listen to your heart and to see where you would like to serve and how you would like to serve. We have 3 very specific areas. One is Michael is the only person that has done the IT stuff for over a year, and he would love help. So thank you, Michael. And he'll teach you. Want to learn something new? He'll teach you. So we could use your help. So just tell Michael, Michael, I'm here to help. Doesn't mean every Sunday, but he would really love your help. So go talk to him. The other one is we have beautiful Carolyn who helped us update the website. Somebody who's really good at websites. Yes, big hands to Carolyn. We need somebody that will help us with Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, posting stuff, posting events, helping us update the website at WordPress. So talk to Carolyn. And then the last one is, these all want social hour again. And you need to make it happen. Because I ain't making the coffee and the tea and setting up and breaking down. I love you all, but if you want that, then you get to make it happen. So if we can get like 3 people together that say, we'll organize it, we'll make it happen, delegate it with volunteers, and we can start having social hour again. But today we have pizza. So we're glad you're here. Stay for the pizza. We have Flourishing happening with about 20 students. It is happening through Center for Spiritual Living Greater Philadelphia. And if you want to find ways to experience more flourishing, more abundance, more prosperity, it's a 5-week program, 4 weeks left. We're using Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. There's still one opportunity to join. That's this coming Wednesday night. Flyers are on the back. And Michael is teaching his next chakra workshop, and it's called the Sacred Heart Chakra, and that's Monday the 26th. And then I want you to grab these flyers for Shannon Plummer and Bob Sima, who are going to be here an entire weekend at the end of the month. If you are interested in any of the program, you need to sign up, and please don't wait till the last minute, because if you sign up last minute and we don't have enough sign-ups, it will be canceled. So sign up for that. It's a Friday night concert right here. Bob Sima is an amazing musician. All-day workshop on Saturday and then Sunday service. So check that all out. Woo! All right. So we are going to have Reverend Janice closing us with a healing treatment, and I'm so glad you're here with us today. So come on up.
Thank you. It's been great to be here, so please join me in this closing treatment. Love is in the room. Yes. We feel it. We are part of this flow of life and this flow of love. And in embracing it, we dissolve any idea of resistance, any idea of separation, and we are reunited, recommitted, reestablished in the very foundation of our existence, which is love itself. And we carry this clear vision of loving, being loved, giving love, being the channel for love out into this community, out into our families, and out into the world. We are metaphysicians who know, believe, with the deepest sense of commitment that we are here for love. We are here as the expression of love in the world. Each one here knows that and gets that at the very deepest level. Everything that was shared today was not just taught, it was caught. It is caught in our awareness, it is caught in our consciousness, it is caught in our heart, and we can't wait to give it out. We can't wait to allow it to flow through us. Everyone here, I speak this word for each of us because there is only one of us. And so we are just enfolded in this magnificent love, knowing that it is love that dissolves any sense of resistance. And right now we recommit to the clarity of being love in the world, of bringing this teaching that we love so dearly out into the world, of embodying it so fully in the world. It is already done. We've caught it, we've allowed it, we continue to allow it. As life flows through us, as our divinity moves through us, we have more and more love to give to the world. And we know in consciousness right now for the world that the world is open and receiving it, that all separation is dissolved. And for this and so much more, we are so completely grateful. This word is released and it is done right here and right now, and so it is.